Beware of the blob. Beware of the blob. That's an actual song. The blob got its own song. What's up, nerds? It is I, the OGGM, at 8:47 in the morning on this, the 12th day of March, 2024. And it's Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we look at toys. Every now and then, we try and find the official 50th anniversary birthday edition Dungeons and Dragons merchandise that you think would be out by now. And every now and then, we're disappointed because there's none out yet. So I decided to focus on one specific toy to see how many of them there are, and if the official 50th anniversary one has been released. And I wanted to go, my favorite, most iconic, bestest D&D monster of all time, the Gelatinous Cube. And surprisingly, there's way more Gelatinous Cube figures than I thought there would be. Though, let's face it, most of them are just reskinned ice cubes. So let's take a look. Now, we know Lego put out a picture of a proposed Gelatinous Cube that they might be making for 5e. But strangely enough, I couldn't find that one. And that wasn't really a Lego. I mean, it was just a solid piece of resin that had a Lego skeleton in the center of it. That's sort of not a Lego. That's just a statue. So let's take a look. First, what the public has to offer us in the way of gelatinous cubes. So this is, of course, this one came out 2 years ago. 2020 Funko Pop Gelatinous Cube. Pretty decent. I mean, it's super derpy, because it's meant to be cute. Don't think it glows in the dark. Does it? It should glow in the dark. I don't love it, mostly because it's derpy, and the skull is over large, so the derpiness kind of takes it away from it. Have any better images? All right, let's see. This is the Walmart one. It's 1428. This is just sort of looks like a glob of plastic resin. For $15, it seems a little much for a glob of plastic resin. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for me. Which one is this? This is the Hasbro Gelatinous Cube that came out. This is a hollow plastic cube, and then you stick an action figure inside it, and you put it down, and it looks like the action figure is getting eaten by the Gelatinous Cube, and then they stuck some things on the outside. I think there's a better picture of it. No, there isn't. I was disappointed with this one. The things just stuck to the outside felt sort of unprofessional. I do like the idea of just popping off the top, sticking the figure inside it, and then putting it back down. That is the way you should use a Gelatinous Cube figure. So when you're playing D&D and somebody gets eaten by the Gelatinous Cube, you just put their figure inside it to show the result. This is the Zing Pop Culture figure. Shows like somebody's already been eaten by the Gelatinous Cube, and the Gelatinous Cube has apparently stayed still long enough to get a pile of bones behind it. Of course, the whole point of the Gelatinous Cube is it is a garbage disposal, right? It's just going around the dungeon, cleaning up the trash. It has no other really drives or emotions. It doesn't, it's not evil or good. It doesn't even really care. Its job is just to slowly slursh along and eat whatever in front of it and keep the dungeon clean. It is the ultimate example of the circle of life in D&D. And my job is just to see, here's the Hasbro thing. Okay. And so they just glued the things to the outside. I don't really like that. It just feels like those would pop off too quickly. Other than that, it's just a plastic resin cube that you put the figure inside. And other than putting the figure inside, it doesn't really do the job as well. as it could. They could have been a little bit more detail, to make it feel like a cube of goo as opposed to just an ice tray, an ice cube. A lot of them are just reskinned ice cubes, plastic ice cubes that have been reskinned to be gelatinous cube. There's the Funko Pop again. Too cute. Again, another take on the Funko Pop one. This is the Pop vinyl figure WonderCon 23 exclusive. Again, a little too cute, a little too derpy. This is another take on the Zing gelatinous cube one. Apparently, this one has not only eaten a fighter, it's eaten a mimic for some reason, or the mimic is. Yeah, I don't like that one. Yeah. Apparently, we're just seeing the two. I thought there was more. Here's a 3D. Okay, what's going on? Let's go to shopping. I'm looking at images. Let's go to shopping to see if there's different ones. Because I feel like there's more. Here is the. So here's the one I was familiar with. This is the one. This is like the first one I ever saw. Was just the plastic cube. You pop the bottom off. You put the figure inside it, and you put it back down. And oh no, it ate Jimmy's character. And this was, I think, still the best. It just captured the sort of innate horror and humor of the gelatinous cube. Trying to assign the idea of emotions to the gelatinous cube. Gelatinous cube doesn't care. It has nothing invested in you. If it doesn't eat you, it's not like it's upset. I thought there was more, but apparently there's not as many as I thought there was. That's just kind of weird. Yeah, they've just removed a lot of them. So let's go over to Etsy. I'm sure there's some more gelatinous cube love over on Etsy than there is than the. Oh yeah, already I'm seeing more. You would think that there would be an official 50th anniversary, but there isn't. All right, so already we're seeing way more on Etsy than there was. So we've got this one. This is a mystery box made out of gelatinous cube, so I guess it has D&D stuff in it. Here, look at this one. $5. Totally tells the story of what's going on with the gelatinous cube. It's eating Billy. Got all his weapons in it. It's a little concave. It's sort of got that weird green glow to it. I really like that one. This one is no, that's just dice box. This one, on the other hand, just a plastic resin cube with some. No, that one doesn't really work. We've got gelatinous cube dice, of course. We've got gelatinous cube coasters. Those would be kind of gross, but okay. Gelatinous cube dice bag. Gelatinous cube with mini. So again, you pop off the top, put the figure on it, and then close it. That doesn't really look like a gelatinous cube. That looks like soap. Gelatinous cube stuffy, because of course, for $32. That looks like it would just trigger your allergies, though. Gelatinous cube classic creature with an example of, oh, look, it ate the, there we go. See, that's just the best. You lift it up, you put it on the figure, it's eating the figure, that one, and now the figure's fine. That's my winner. Please, can we see it again? Yeah, that's the winner. That's what you want. Here's the Funko one. Dude, you didn't make this. Don't put this on Etsy like you made this. Here's a plushie. Here's a gelatinous cube soap. Because, yeah. Gelatinous cube dice. Ooh. I don't think gelatinous cubes have tendrils. That sort of gives them way too much impetus. You know, Gelatinous Cubes don't really attack you. You know, they just kind of bump into you. And if you're dumb enough not to get out of the way, they eat you. You know, 9 out of 10 times, you just see this sword floating in the middle of the air amongst this weird, sort of vaguely green square. Somebody's going to stick their hand inside the weirdly green square to grab the sword because, yeah, why wouldn't that just have a sword floating? No, you just, you know, this sort of takes away from the ridiculous horror of the Gelatinous Cube, because the Gelatinous Cube is ridiculous and horrible. It's scary. It's a Lovecraftian nightmare, but it's also silly because, you know, it doesn't attack you. It just sort of slurches down the hallway, and if you're dumb enough not to get out of the way, then it eats you. It's not like it's going to chase you. It's got a movement rate of like, what, 2? Here's some Gelatinous Cube plushies because somebody had to do it. More Gelatinous Cubes. Gelatinous Cube soap. Gelatinous Cube soap. Gelatinous Cube dice. Gelatinous Cube things. Gelatinous Cube pin. So there's way more in Etsy than normal, but all variations on just ice cube tray, right? I mean, they're basically just somebody took the plastic pre-frozen ice cube coolers and like, Gelatinous Cube. So yeah, Gelatinous Cube gel candle. Gelatinous Cube fish tank. Oh man, how come somebody hasn't done that yet? Gelatinous Cube blanket. Now, I love the Gelatinous Cube. I love slime, as you guys know. It's my favorite D&D monster because I can throw slime in any situation, and I don't have to explain it. Why is there slime there? I don't know. It's slime. I don't have to explain it. It's slime. It's just there. As opposed to like orcs or wherever, and I got to explain how they got there, what they're eating, where they stay. It's like, no, slime. I don't have to explain. And you don't even have to pay slime. Slime isn't going to complain. It's not going to, you know, the working conditions. It's like, I'm happy to just wander around this hallway and eat what's ever in front of me. You ate Jimmy. Jimmy didn't get out of the way. It's not like I'm fast. I've got a movement rate of like 4. I go last in combat. My attack is you bump into me. That's my attack. It's you walked into me, dude. So, of course, the point of this was we saw that Lego figure, but that Lego figure hasn't been officially made yet. And, of course, where are the official 50th anniversary D&D figures? Even a fucking shirt. A Gelatinous Cube, official 50th. Simple as pie. Somebody could have made it, but nobody did. So we rate some Gelatinous Cubes. What's your favorite Gelatinous Cube figure? Mine is, of course, I think the best one is if you can put the other figure inside it. And it looks like that figure is being eaten by slime, as opposed to I just stuck an action figure inside a plastic square. You paid $30 for a plastic square. You could have just, taken Roblox and made a plastic square, or Magna Blocks or whatever. Anyways, that's it for toys for this week. Tune in next week for more toys.